Today's a really special video. I'm very lucky and privileged to have CryptoPapi on with me. If you don't know CryptoPapi, I actually met him initially in Top Shot, and he has expanded to other NFTs. He's got a nice YouTube channel of his own, and he puts out a lot of really informative and educational content. And in today's video, we are about to discuss a variety of topics that will apply to beginners, intermediate alike. So without further ado, hello, CryptoPapi.
Hey, Top Shot Tandy, thanks for having me, man. The pleasure is mine. And yeah, glad to chat with you for a little while here.
Awesome. Okay, so the first thing I want to touch on is I remember seeing you in one of the Discords back in the day, probably back in February. And I remember you were actually putting out a lot of content about Top Shot, etc. And then yesterday, before our talk today, I was looking online and I saw that you were sniping apes. So can you tell me about how that happened? How that transition happened? What took you from Top Shot to now being someone who is flipping apes for 9 Ethereum?
Yeah, that's a great question. So my journey into NFTs definitely started with Top Shot. My journey into Top Shot was my background in crypto trading. So for 4 years, as a hobby, just for fun, I would trade crypto on leverage. And January of this year, I decided to start telling my story on YouTube, and I joined Twitter. And as soon as I joined Twitter, I started to hear about. I obviously I knew about NFTs, and I kind of knew the underlying technology of NFTs, but I hadn't found a real use case for it that I knew about. And as soon as I joined Twitter, Top Shot actually had just gone viral, and so I saw that happened, and then got into Top Shot and sort of transitioned my channel from talking full time about Twitter to starting to talk more about NBA Top Shot and NFTs. And of course, NFTs aren't just about Top Shot. It is, kind of that household name in the NFT world, and probably still the biggest potential long term, I think. But you, as with crypto, you can't always just look at one thing. You've got to understand what the entire landscape looks like, and NFTs applies to a lot of different industries. And so that's when I started to look into what else is there other than Top Shot. And then from there, I created my MetaMask wallet and started to ape into MetaMask based NFTs, as well as still obviously NBA Top Shot. And then I was really lucky, because your question is about the apes themselves. I was really lucky and fortunate to have been on Twitter when somebody actually just tweeted this out 2 days ago. I don't know who, but somebody put me onto the apes before they sold out. And I went to the site and I did 3 seconds of research and I minted an ape. I only minted one. At that time, I didn't have anywhere near the liquidity that I have now. And most of it was tied up in Top Shot. So, for me to mint one ape at 0.08 was actually not bad at all. It was good. It was like, okay, I'm going to spend 0.08 on I don't know what. And very quickly from there, I just saw sort of the community, and everybody changed their Twitter pictures to apes. I flipped that ape right away because I just didn't like the one that I got. And then I ended up buying 5 or 6 of them right away. Something just told me, man, this is pretty good. And it's not like I knew where we were going to end up, like where we are today. Nobody could have ever predicted that, but I liked them. I thought they were cool and bought some. And I've been honestly trading apes all the way up to this day. I'm still trading apes. Yeah.
Okay, I didn't actually realize that you're continually trading the apes. I know you just flipped one the other day, but I didn't know that was something that you've been doing this whole time.
I've been doing it this whole time. I've had 5 or 6 apes in my wallet this entire bull run with the apes, and other than my profile picture, none of them have been the same apes.
All right. And I got to tell you that when I first saw the apes, I wasn't that impressed with the art. Were you impressed right off the bat, or was it more the fact that they were going to sell out, or was it just a blind faith thing? You just saw somebody that you trusted on Twitter. Like, what made you do it, especially since you were coming from a place on Top Shot where at that time, the Top Shot was just kind of doing this. And I think I personally at that moment felt like I'm still kind of shaken up. Like, I'm not ready to go put like hundreds of dollars into something right now. So what was it that kind of made it happen for you?
Yeah, so I remember this very clearly. CryptoPapi didn't love the art of the apes either, even after they had gone up in value quite a bit. And I was bragging to her about the investment I made. She was still like, "What are you doing? Like, why are you buying apes? This makes no sense, right?"
Right, right.
I still remember the night that I minted my ape. The bathroom got me. I was like, "Oh, well, that's pretty cool. So we can all collaborate on a piece of art and put pixels on a bathroom." And I started drawing pixels, and it drew me in. But I know it seems silly, but I got it. It was like, oh, so this is a community that they're building, and we can collaborate, all of us, and do some funny stuff. And right away, people started drawing all kinds of funny stuff in the bathroom, and it was just engaging from that perspective. The art, kind of irrelevant to me. It's not really what always draws me in or out of a project. It was more about the engagement in the community, and like I got it. It was like, oh, so I've got this token, and although the only thing I can do with it is draw a pixel in a bathroom, it's still pretty cool that only 5,000 of us may draw pixels in this bathroom, and that's literally why I bought it.
Well, that's a funny story. I mean, I remember personally, I saw everyone changing their profile pictures to apes instead of me thinking, oh wow, this is a movement, I got to be part of this, which it sounds like you did. I was just like, why are they doing this? Like, I don't like the pictures, stop it already, change your profile pictures back. And so obviously that was a huge swing and a miss on my end, but good for you for understanding that aspect of community, because I feel like that was almost the first example of a profile picture becoming viral on Twitter. I can't remember that ever happening before. So I should have known better, but kudos to you.
Yeah,
Sorry, what'd you say?
there was CryptoPunks years ago, and and then the apes. Like I don't know of anything else that had gone viral that was a profile picture until that point. Now, keep in mind, I minted one, so you were like, once I was part of the club, you saw it from a different perspective, but I can totally see how somebody that came from the other side of, whoa, what are these things? Why is everybody changing their Twitter picture to these apes? Well, I could see why at that point you might say, well, I missed the boat, or I don't care enough for it, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Well, I think that's a good segue into the next question, which is, I think it's kind of a gray area. I don't think anyone can really tell anyone exactly what to look out for when buying an NFT. But for someone who doesn't know much of anything about NFTs, can you explain what is it that you look for when a new project is announced? Or it could even be a project that's already minted, but something that tells you this project has legs.
Yeah. So, and you're right. We are in a space that is so immature right now that trying to put maturity on top of it and trying to be overly analytic about what works and what doesn't probably isn't the smartest thing, not where we are today. So the way that I sort of choose projects today is there's two types of projects that I'll invest in. There's either the lottery ticket projects, which you're basically minting a bunch of or one of something and hoping to get some rares, and you basically the reveal happens, whether it's immediate or it's weeks later, doesn't matter. It's still sort of a lottery ticket that you're buying into. And then there's the projects that are already out there on OpenSea that they've been trading for 3 months already, 5 months, that already have an established community, and there's sort of ongoing drops that are not lottery tickets, that are more like gas wars for those projects that are discovered. And then for the projects that are not so much discovered, you can just go in, and if you like something, you buy it. But at the end of the day, I think the theme for me is always the same. The first thing that I look at is there a community? And if there's no community around a project, it's very likely that it just won't be discovered. And if there's no effort to build a community, so there's no Discord, well,
Right.
that's a first sign of a project that it's going to be very difficult to discover it. And so I look for the Discord. I join the Discord. First thing I look at is how many people are in this Discord, and if they advertise, if they do, if you know, many of them advertise how many people have joined. Many don't. Now just ask the mods, hey, can you advertise how many are here, or I'll count manually, and then I'll just sort of look at the chat and see how active it is. A Discord that is not a good sign of activity is you join it and you look at the last post and then you come back 4 hours later and that's still the same post. There's
Right.
probably something going on, especially if there's like 2,000 or 3,000 people in the Discord. Then you could be dealing with just, you know, somebody using bots to basically prop up their Discord account. So just look for activity, and sometimes that activity can be good and sometimes it can be bad. Sometimes the Discord is full of futters and people that are not happy and are
Right.
demanding things, and sometimes, you know, everybody's screaming we're going to the moon and it's never going to stop going up. And I kind of like, I just, as long as there's activity there and there's passionate people about the project, good and bad, that's usually a good sign.
Right. Right. Yeah, I remember I was keeping an eye on Bulls on the Block, and I remember that Discord had a lot of FUD when the price started going below mint because there were so many gas wars as well. And it looks like now they seem to be doing quite well. They seem to be pretty stable and doing like a little stable up run right now. So my next question for you, and now I figured out these banners, so I can get these banners coming. But what kind of advice do you have for like beginners, someone who is brand new to the space? They may have like $100, 500, 1,000 to spend. How should they be diversifying? What should they be buying? Should they go for something that already has momentum? Should they mint something new? What should they do?
Yeah. Oh man, that is a tough question, especially like in the $100 range.
Mm,
You know, because my strategy is to spread it out, and that becomes harder and harder to do with $100. But
right.
I firmly believe that you should not have conviction in only one thing, because 99% of these things actually don't end up working out. And I know that right now it feels like everything goes up, but
Yep.
that's not truly the case. I mean, I probably have 50% of the stuff in my wallet isn't actually going up. Some of it
Right.
is 3 months old and literally doesn't even have a community anymore. And so your odds and your chances, again, because the space is not that mature and it doesn't matter how much research you do, if you go all in with $100 on one project, then your odds and chances are that you're not going to actually, you know, you're going to get stuck with that $100, whatever NFT you bought in your wallet, and you might be able to, you might not be able to sell it for more. My advice is, if you do have $100, I'd still find a way to spread it out amongst at least a couple of projects.
Yeah.
And some of these projects are getting very low in mint price, like 0.02. So you're paying, I think, 0.02, I think 0.01 is like 30 something dollars right now.
Mm,
So, you know, I'd still try and buy multiples of something,
hmm.
or a couple of things in a few different projects that you can afford. Again, because I just think if you take one shot with that $100,
It
chances
might it
are
might be a misfits you. And we'll talk about that in a second.
exactly, yeah.
um, so I guess that's a good. We can actually segue right into that question, which is, what can we learn from projects that have lost momentum, or you could say failed? I mean, the Misfits U. I don't remember what the mint price on that was. I want to say it was something like 0.06 Ethereum, and now it's trading for like 0.009.
Is
Panda
that how low it
Squad.
is? Oh my
I don't
goodness.
even know. I can go check while you're talking. I could be totally wrong on
No,
that,
you could
but
be right. I just don't. I didn't mint it, so I don't look at it.
yeah. But like, that's a good example. Did that project sell out? Was it going to sell out?
It sold out right away.
So then why didn't you mint it?
So at the time, it had a big community. The everything I'm saying about community, it had big Discord, lots of hype, lots of passionate people in the Discord, and we found out that the images they were using were from Shutterstock, and
That was that. Oh, really?
yeah, and we found out pre-mint.
Oh, wow.
And as soon as I saw that, I said, red flags. And you really only need one red flag in this space for it to be enough to say, okay, I'm going to stay out of this one. And by the way, the art didn't draw me in. And that usually it's like number one for me. It's like, if the art doesn't draw me in, I don't want to get stuck with something in my wallet that I don't like looking at. I
Sure.
hate that. So right away, I remember the art hadn't drawn me in, and then the FUD started. And sometimes I buy FUD because I'm a complete degenerate. And this time I didn't. This time it bothered me. Like the fact that they were using Shutterstock images really bothered me, and I just moved away from it. And nobody could have predicted. That's the thing. Like, I could have just as easily minted it, and
Right.
nobody could have predicted what was going to happen the moment that the reveal came out, and the unfortunate situation
Right.
with what those look like when the reveal came out. Right.
Right.
I still don't even know if the developers predicted that or if they knew that was going to happen. I like to think good of people, and I like to think it was a mistake, and even they didn't realize what it was going to look like.
Yeah. So the floor price is under 0.01. So I was right.
Unbelievable.
Was there? I got to ask you though, because I know you bought a bunch of the lizards. I did remember seeing that someone, I think it might have been Vivek, a bad thing badly on Twitter, was talking about there was like almost a controversy there too as well. Like one of the lizards had something in its eyes. So were you not concerned about that?
I bought into that FUD. I minted 40 lizards. And
even after seeing that people were fudding it on Twitter for that reason.
Yes. And dude, it's just a gut, man. It goes with I'll be transparent. I didn't know what that symbol was. So the image that came up of the Star of David and the lizard himself looks like he's crying, and he's got like I guess a Jewish person in his eyes is the way they made it look, right?
Right.
And I looked at it and I said, what is that anyway? And then I Googled it and I was like, oh, okay, I see why this can be controversial. Then I thought to myself, well, if I didn't know that, then it's possible the creators didn't either. And the creators are clearly not English speaking. Like their first language is not English. I know that. I can tell by the way they're writing. I think actually, he's Latino, and so his name's Felipe, right? So it sounds to me like he's Latino, and the way he writes is the way my dad writes. Like so. I gave him the benefit of the doubt, and I tweeted. I said, you know what? They fixed the problem immediately, and I think they've kind of said what the mistake was, and I like to again believe that maybe it was an issue, and I loved the art. Like I honestly think that art is for 0.03 mint. I haven't seen anything that comes anywhere near as good as that, and so I was like, why am I going to miss out on something I actually really like when I don't really know what the intent behind that was? It's been fixed. I'm just going to roll with it, and I'm going to mint a lot of them.
Yeah, well, it seems to have worked out so far. I think the floor is pretty high right now, right?
That was the other thing. So the utility behind the project, where this is the first project.
Go to that one already. Let's talk about it.
Okay.
Tell us about utility.
Yeah, that's a really good one. So first there's community when you're figuring out a project. And then the next thing is, what am I actually going to be able to do with whatever I buy? And can I do something with it? Can I, can I stake it, for example, as some projects allow you to do? Or is it simply just a raffle ticket without a roadmap? Or, the big thing now is, will some of my money go to a charity? And that's important to some people. So that's utility for them, is they're in a way investing or donating money to a charity as well. So, utility, it's a very vague word. It can mean a lot of different things. But at the end of the day, is this a project that I'm buying for a raffle ticket? And if I hit a raffle, awesome, I do well. And if I don't, then I don't see any part of this roadmap that's going to make the floor rise. Then, sometimes I mint those too for pure raffle tickets.
Sure, absolutely.
But
Degenerate.
Yeah, but just know that the likely, if you don't hit, then you're probably going to be stuck with that image in your wallet for a long time.
Right, right.
And so with the lizards themselves, there's two projects right now that I'm into that have similar utility: the lizards and qubits, which still haven't sold out. And they're sort of the first ones that you're going to be able to cash in trade tickets like NBA Top Shot, right? And so with the lizards, you cash in 3 lizards and you're going to get back a dragon. Now,
Oh,
we haven't seen what the dragons look like, but the artist himself is great, or herself, I don't even know, is great. So I imagine these dragons might look good. But I had a feeling that this floor was not going to stay below mint price based on the fact that you could trade them in for dragons and that the art was good. And the floor is up at like 0.09, 0.1 right
that's
now.
awesome.
And
That's
by the
awesome.
way, nobody cares about rares in that project. I've been trying to sell rare stuff at rare prices and they're not selling because people just want to buy the floor up and trade them in for dragons.
Interesting. You know, that's interesting. So I'll ask you first, what is your strategy going to be in terms, you have 40 of them. Are you just holding while they just tripled in price, or are you offloading some?
I think I have 10 left.
All right, so that answers
And
my question.
yeah,
My
my
follow-up,
policy, so
yeah, go ahead.
sorry, my policy with that is take your profits, cash out your profits, and make sure that when you have an opportunity to take profits, do it because 99% of these projects come back down. And
And
so
do you think
this
when you say take profits, obviously you took a lot of profit on that project. I mean, generally, if you can choose, if you really like a project, are you trying to like take a little bit of profit and just say, okay, I covered my buy? Or it sounds like you're saying so many of these projects go down that you need to take more than just that like safe amount. You need to say, okay, I'm like in the green here. I need to take a healthy amount out.
Yeah, I like to be in the green. I don't like to break even.
Gotcha.
I've made that mistake in the past where I'd say, okay, I broke even, so I'm good. Well, yeah, I still have some of those in my wallet from 3 months ago that have never gone back up. So I do find that the first bull run in a project might very likely be its last. And
That's
so,
some interesting. That's an important take right there.
yeah,
I wanted to ask you. You mentioned the dragon, and that is actually something I've been thinking about lately. And that's this question. Um, it seems like almost every project lately is adding airdrops. What's unique about the lizards, at least, is it's like a forge. I'm not sure if that's considered a forge, but it's when you have to use 2 to get back 1. And it seems like people are still like geeked out over that. I'm in a project right now, Crypto Raiders, where you use 2 of your raiders and you get something back. But I'm seeing airdrops for nearly every project. So isn't it just a matter of time that these airdrops will not be as valued?
100%. I'm so glad you said that. I think it's over already. Um, Look at the Fame Lady squad. Look at the Slacker Ducks. Like a project, and Fame Lady was a good project that did well. Hey, that's an example of one that I minted 20. Thank God I sold 15 of them. And I was up really big on that project. I kept 5 for the family, so we each have one
Mm-hmm.
for our family. But look at where it is now. I kind of wish I just sold all 5.
Right.
Hey, I think yeah, one of those might be mine.
That baklava might be yours.
Well,
Yeah.
if you pull up my baklava, it's actually a crazy, crazy story of being on the right side of the trade.
Mm-hmm.
So the baklava that I was fortunate enough to mint, I sold her already, so you won't see her in there.
All right. It's
She's
going
up
to
on
be
the
down
market.
there.
She's up on the market right now.
Oh, okay.
Look up the. I call them baklava. My wife kills me. She's like, it's
So
not
what's
baklava. I don't know how to pronounce it, man, but she makes baklava, so I call it baklava.
yeah, baklava is good. Uh,
Right?
where would that be? Head, I guess, right? Or
Head
hair?
item,
I don't.
head item.
Oh, okay.
This is crazy, man. Look at this. This is an important lesson for people to learn.
Sure.
Is I think that might be her at 0.47. Go up.
Okay, this first one.
Yeah, I think that might be her.
Well,
If
for the sake of moving right along, we'll say it is. Go ahead.
well, no, click on her. I want to show you
Okay.
something.
All right, cool.
Yeah, scroll down.
We're looking at trade history.
Activity. Okay, that's not mine. So she might have sold because I don't see her. But anyway,
Yeah.
the lady, my baklava lady, I sold when Gary V went into the Discord and started pumping up Fame Lady.
Right.
I sold her for 1.7 ETH.
Wow.
I decided to check that floor yesterday because I had heard they weren't doing well. There was my lady for 0.4 ETH.
Wow.
And I could have bought her back yesterday from the same person that bought it from me, who paid 1.7. I could have bought her back for 0.4 yesterday.
Right.
And I thought, whoa, that would make an interesting signature on transaction.
You'd be a true baller.
Maybe I should buy her because she's cheap now.
I mean, imagine it then goes back up and you sell it again. I swear.
Oh, that would
an
be
absolute
insane.
legend.
That would be insane. But that's the point, guys. Like, it's unfortunately we're in an immature space where a lot of things are getting pumped and dumped. And I honestly think that it's very difficult to make it in this space if you come in as a true collector and you mean well, and all you want to do is collect NFTs. Unfortunately, you're just going to probably end up getting burned. And you need liquidity to be able to invest in the next project. And there's there's 7 projects every day that come out, and there's 1 or 2 a week that are the next ape. Although we still haven't seen the next ape, but that's what people, prop up. Maybe 1 or 2 projects are like, this is it. And so you have to have enough liquidity to spread it out and not go all in on anything. And unfortunately, not just keep your stuff in your bags because you'll be left holding the bag in the end.
Well, I just thought about this question then. How many of your NFTs are you holding? And the answer can be none, where you will hold them no matter what. And I know that you have a affinity to apes, but I know you also sold a bunch of them. So are there any NFTs, or are you just a pure trader and this collector idea doesn't really apply to you?
So there are NFTs that I put into the category of I want to have them long term, and I'm in profits, I'm in the green, and I'm hodling these forever, and we'll see where they go. Apes being one of them. I am down to 3 apes now. I sold it last night, so I'm down to 2. So I'm on the market for my third. I always want to have a third,
Okay.
but I will never go down less than 2 apes because 1 is CryptoPapi's and 1 is mine.
Gotcha.
And so we'll never not have an ape because we always want to belong and be a part of that community together. So the third one will always be for basically flipping back and forth.
It's pretty much just apes. Like if any of these other projects start tanking or whatever, it's like, whatever, I'm getting rid of these things.
No, so I'll put Fame Lady Squad in that category. The 5 ladies that I have, it doesn't really matter what the value of them is. CryptoPapi uses one of the ladies as her profile picture. Okay. And the other 3, my kids chose as their ladies. So I'm not selling that. And then I chose 1 for me. So I don't care what the value of them is. I'm like really into the green there. So I'm going to hodl those and keep them in my bag and probably not sell them even if they go up either. Right. So there are those. And why the Fame Lady? I just, they were the first ones to really represent the female space in the NFTs. And so that, that has a special meaning in my heart with 3 little girls and my wife. So it's like,
I didn't realize all your kids are daughters. So I understand the affection then to the project.
Yeah. And so that's a collectible. And that's one, I look at some projects as collectibles. A very recent project is Vogu. So I'm really into the project as a collectible, not just a trader. So I think I have 4 right now, probably going to get a 5th real soon. And I think I'll always, have 2 in my wallet, maybe 3. And yes, I'll be flipping the other ones to continue to add liquidity and get, have more ETH to put into other projects. But I definitely do have projects that I look at as long-term collectibles. But there's still a big but. You still want to be in the green and not just hold something like that with conviction, because it can easily not work out for you.
And so we could talk about Vogus for a second, actually. Vogus, that was a reasonably high mint price, if I'm not mistaken. And I remember the gas was super high. So did you mint those when everyone else was minting?
I lost the gas war. It was a 0.08 mint price, which you're right. For nowadays, it seems to be high for people, right?
Right. Currently, it's high.
Yeah. And I lost out the gas wars. I canceled my transaction, so I didn't really lose any money other than like $50 to cancel gas, which
Okay.
I get to some people is a lot, but if $50 is a lot to you, don't mint Vogus. Like, don't go
Yeah.
near a project that has that much hype because you're in a gas war for sure.
Yep.
And so no, I didn't. I bought the floor when not the floor. I bought the rare ones that I liked as soon as they started dumping, and every project
How low did
dumps.
they dump?
Um, point 0.3. They never got lower than 0.3.
Okay. I mean, that's for like another day to talk about like sniping the rare. I mean, I feel like that's more of an intermediate topic we'll have to get on again. But
Yeah, hey, look, I sniped a tuxedo 2 days ago for 0.5, and that's something we should talk about is inefficiencies, and I know you wanted to talk about that ape flip yesterday, and it's all about inefficiencies, but I sniped a tuxedo almost at floor price, which is not a floor Vogu, and that
okay.
floor is like at 1.3 this morning.
So you said you bought it for 0.5,
Yeah,
but that was a floor tuxedo. That was a floor. What was it? A floor what?
it was a tuxedo Vogu, which is
Okay.
a rare. I consider it a rare Vogu. Aesthetically, I know everybody loves the tuxedo Vogus,
But
just
is that
like they love.
that's a subjective thing? That's you just saying I think this is cool, or is it like a rarity tool thing where it's like this is less than 1% of them have this?
They're actually not that rare. It's listening to the space and what
Hmm.
people like, and I know people like the tux, and they
Huh.
also, by the way, like the tux with the apes.
Yeah,
So
that's like another good question actually. If you have any, um, hold on, on the top of your head about what kind of traits people like. I know that, for example, like the punks and the punk copycats, it's always about the monkeys, the zombies, the monkeys, the aliens,
yeah,
um, and about the apes, it's about
the
the
robots
gold
too.
fur. Okay, the robots, yeah, the gold fur, the laser eyes. So, do you kind of just have to have like a dictionary of things that you know in general, the space, just by being plugged in every day that people find this interesting? Therefore, oh, I know I don't think Vogue's had apes or zombies, but it's like that's a zombie Vogue and it's too low, so I'm gonna buy it.
Yeah, the Vogus have the robots. That's sort of the most rare uh, face trait. But the interesting thing is that if you listen to the space, the robots aren't actually the most desired Vogus. And I'll tell you which two I think they're going to be in the future. I
Mm-hmm.
think the Tux is a big one, and there's
Mm-hmm.
another one. There's a trait called Kuwei Vibes, which is a record over on the right side. It's an old school record vinyl that is high. And if you look at the market and you look at the floor price versus their rarity, they're not that rare. I mean, sure, they're not super common either, but there's an inefficiency there created by pure aesthetics and what people like.
Yeah, I see so many of these seem so unique in their own right that for an outsider just looking at it today, I would have a little bit of trouble saying like, oh, this is definitely something that looks rare. I mean, like a Bitcoin necklace, I don't know, holding a beer, maybe holding a beer seems to be pretty rare.
Yep.
It just seems like something where you have to be plugged into like, I don't know, the Discord or other Discords to be able to say, okay, that's something that's super cool that people are going to want.
Yeah, what are your friends saying? Like, honestly, and you have to have a lot of friends in this space. And what are they saying? What do they like? What is visually appealing to them? And buy that before everyone else figures out that, hey, that's the one, that's the nice one that people like. Like with the apes, for example, like the flip brim hat that I have in my profile picture or the red cap, at one point they were just normal. Like at one
Right,
point they weren't even going for more money than anything else.
right.
And then they did the airdrop and they went bananas, and the suits went bananas as well.
Because of
Uh,
the airdrop, because of the Kennel Club dog was coming.
no, sorry, not the airdrop. The drop for the merch, the
Oh, the
merch drop.
merch. Oh, because they were selling the hats.
Yeah, when they started selling the hats, they went
Got it.
absolutely
Got it.
bananas.
So
Yeah.
now you're gonna have a chance to shill. Is there an NFT right now that you feel's being slept on?
New or old? Where do you want to go? If we're gonna talk about something that I'm buying right now, by the way, so I shill. We might call it shilling, but I'm just telling you what I'm buying, and
No,
you
I
can.
know, I know. I just
Yeah.
think it's funny because people like to call
Oh,
people
I know,
shillers.
I know. I am huge right now on Animeta.
Okay, I
Like,
saw that in your profile actually. So tell me a little bit about Animeta.
yeah, like I think I bought 27 Animetas yesterday, and I'm not done. I'm
Wow.
gonna, if there's more FUD, I'm gonna keep buying that project.
So real quickly, what's the FUD around it?
So what happened with Animeta is there was a lot of hype, a lot of people loved it, and uh, Gas Wars. I lost out on Gas Wars again. That was the project that had the highest gas I've ever seen. It
Wow.
You had to go to. I put 500 gas, and then started to look at the
Wow.
transactions, and you had to get to 2,500 Gwei to mint an Animeta successfully. Some
Wow.
people got in lower, but that would have taken a big risk of losing your
Yeah.
gas. So I canceled out, even though I had 500 Gwei. The point is, this project had a lot of hype. It's very well liked. Aesthetically, people are into this.
Mhm.
It's people love this like cypher punk retro
Right.
style. The fact that they're trying to create an arcade world out of this, like the utility behind it seems like it's got a lot of promise. And so I'm just really big on this project right now, and I've been buying it. And I said it yesterday when they were at 0.11 that this floor was not going to stay there. And
Mhm.
I think they're 0.16 this morning.
Mm.
They seem to have, like every project, yeah, there you go, floor price
Yeah.
0.16. Like you could have bought 10 of them at 0.11 yesterday. And
Right.
that's not insignificant, guys. That's 60%, minus your royalty fees and whatever. Let's call it 50% gains in one day. Guys, that's not insignificant at
No, not
all.
at all. Not at all. And tell us real quick the utility. So it's an arcade world. Is there anything else that you're excited about in terms of utility for this project?
I think I mean I've got, hey, look, we're all degenerates. I found out about Animetas the day before they were minting. I haven't done that much research on them because I love them. Like when I look at these guys, I want these guys in my wallet. I don't care if they go to zero. These
Okay,
guys to me look badass.
cool.
And so all I know is that they are going to build. The idea behind it is that they're going to build. Oh, sorry, I know two things. They're going to build a future sort of arcade. So I imagine we're gonna potentially have games, and
Mhm.
these will be used for that. And the
Mhm.
other one is that we're getting airdropped weapons as
Cool.
well.
Cool.
So that I know as well, which sounds super cool. And you can see like some of these weapons are probably going to look really cool as well. Love the artist, love the work they did. This is very unique in the space. You know what I call this? It's kind of like punks in 3D in a
Mm.
way. Like it's just punks, but way better graphics, or not maybe 3D, but punks with like 256-bit resolution instead
Yeah.
of
Punks
8
on
bit.
punks on Super Nintendo instead of Atari.
That's it. Yeah, that's it.
I think that's what you're
I
saying.
mean, look at that. Look at that girl with the double machine gun breasts.
All right. Yeah, I think that's probably should be a rare of some sort.
She's rare. Yeah, the double machine gun breast is very rare. Yeah.
As it should be. Uh, well, that's cool. That does look like a fun project, and I agree. I like that artwork. Um, so I guess we're rounding up on about 40 minutes. So let's talk about I guess personal lessons. I think the lessons learned was really something interesting actually that you mentioned about just taking your profits and just not holding and seeing everything go to the seller. And I feel like you probably have some more lessons learned to share. So first of all, what is a purchase that you made that you wish you could take back? Not including Top Shot, of course.
Oh,
What?
I was gonna say Cool Cats Luca. Come on.
All right, fine. You can talk about how much was Cool Cat's Luca when you picked him up.
7K.
Oh God,
Yeah. I
just
knew
hurts.
nothing. I knew nothing about Top Shot.
Yeah.
I went in, I saw a challenge that I could do. I saw that the reward was AD. I mean,
Mhm.
big fan of AD. And I thought, well, if the Luca's 7K and that was a reward, then this AD is probably going to be worth lots of money as well. So I'm going to go ahead and mint Luca. Not really understanding, not mint, buy Luca off the
Yeah.
secondary market for
Kind of
7K.
like minting, but yeah, okay.
Yeah. And not really understanding where we were in the market cycle. So one of the things that really none of the Top Shot tools had was history, and they were only go back like 2 or 3 days in history. Like you couldn't look 2 months or 1 month and actually see this huge parabolic run up when I was
Wow.
buying. And
Yeah.
so that was a mistake. Like not understanding market cycles is a really important thing to understand because everything that goes up parabolic goes down.
Yeah.
And a friend of mine, one of my best friends that just got into the apes, recently said, I want to buy a second ape as an investment. And I said, I get it. I understand why somebody would have FOMO over the apes right now. And my advice would be, I don't know that I would be buying an ape right now as an investment. Like this is when I'm selling my apes because you got to understand we're up 100x. That is a mind-blowing number. And not many things in life go up 100x that don't come back down. So
Sure.
I would just wait and see if they do come down and correct. And if they do, awesome, then buy as an investment. If you're going to
Right.
buy now, and this is my lesson, is if you're going to buy something that's parabolic, then do it because you want to be part of the community. You're okay if it goes down 80%. So you're not putting money in that you're not willing to lose. And something like a profile picture that you're going to stick with and you're going to love and you're going to participate in the community, then I'd say do it, buy an ape. But as an
Right.
investment, guys, we're up 100x.
Right. And so are there any other purchases that you wish you could take back?
Oh, oh, you really? I love that. I love that.
I like
Yeah.
the art, but yeah, these guys have obviously bottomed out.
Man, I actually bought those during really high gas, which is the
Oh,
worst part. They were really cheap at 0.01 for that time. 0.01 was really cheap because it
right.
was a bonding curve, and I got in as soon as first level of the bonding curve. So I paid 0.01. But I was thinking the other day, I probably paid more like 0.04 or something for them, 0.03, because gas was high. I don't actually know. Maybe I can go and find that out. Yeah,
Yeah.
you know what? Of course, it's hard not to regret making that purchase. And it was right after NBA Top Shot. So,
Yeah, I
and it
remember
was,
seeing them actually. I remember seeing them, but I was still too shaken. It's the same reason I didn't buy apes. I was like, no, I'm just gonna sit on my bag and just ignore everything. Luckily, I changed that up.
yeah, it's kind of part of the game is that you have to almost assume that 1 out of 5 projects that you mint are going to zero. Like
Mm,
that's a good assumption to make. So again, don't go all in on one thing or don't go all in on anything because the math is maybe one will go to zero, maybe one will be well below mint price and you'll be able to sell but at a loss. Maybe one you'll break even on. And then there's those couple that really work out, man, and they're game changing.
yeah,
Like
absolutely.
the apes is one in 3 months for me, but there's been many crazy lizards, fame lady squads, where the profits were still sort of game changing and gave me a lot of liquidity to be able
Yeah,
to put back into 5 more projects, right?
yeah, and that's amazing. And you definitely need a little bit of luck, I think, in the beginning, in the early stages.
Yeah.
But another question, kind of related, is what is something you didn't buy into, and you obviously you regret it now because the values have gone up. Uh, but just to talk about why you didn't buy it at the time.
That's easy. It's Ghost. Like
Oh yeah,
it's such an easy answer for me to give you. Like,
right.
God, do I have regret with Ghost?
So you
And
saw it, and what happened?
saw it, showed it to Crypto Mommy. Literally, we were sitting in this office 3 months ago and looking at it, going, these are kind of interesting. They're kind of cool looking, but they're creepy as hell.
Right.
And why I didn't buy one was actually in the end not because I wasn't in love with the art. Like the art's it's creepy, and
Yeah.
that's good and bad, right?
Right.
It actually now I don't know if it's because they're so expensive, but now I like the art, and I think
Yeah.
it might be because they're so
I think
expensive.
it's that why. I think that's why.
If they were 0.01, a lot of people might be saying, yeah, they're creepy. But why I really missed out is because of laziness. And
Really?
this is a real lesson learned. I was
Okay.
talking to the creator of Ghost. I'm sure I still have those DMs and asking him, how do I participate in this thing? And he's like, you got to join the Discord and you'll figure it all out. I joined the Discord, but I didn't actually pay attention. I found it too hard to like buy a ghost. And that's when they were at 1 ETH. Okay. So I was distracted and I started doing other things. It didn't draw me in. The process of buying one didn't draw me in. Lesson learned. I shouldn't have been so lazy and I should have paid attention.
So just for my own knowledge, because I didn't know about this, what was the how did you mint them off the what did you have to do in the Discord that was like the extra hurdle?
I straight up still don't know because
Okay.
you have to like it's something about you have to go in the Discord, you have to like buy into some of the stuff that's already there. And I think then it's a raffle or an auction. So the auctions, Dingaling wins all those auctions. So and by the way, like they were like 3-4 ETH, which was a lot. I didn't have 3 to 4 ETH to spend on a
Right.
ghost, not on one project. No way.
Right. Right.
But it was some of that, and then the raffles, like you had to like participate in the market, owns some, and I think you could win a raffle, something like that. But I never figured it out, and here I am, ghostless.
Yeah, I know. I mean, I think there's a lot of people in that same camp, and I think, and it's exactly like you said. People now love this art style, and now you're seeing projects all over the place that have like similar art style with little numbers and characters in the corner, and it's like, all right, I see what's going on here.
Yeah, have you seen Liverboy?
No,
Because
let's look them up. What's it,
that's one
Liverboy?
that that's one that I'm really big on, and it's starting to get discovered. I bought Liverboys a week ago with no gas war, and now I'm losing out on gas wars
Right.
because people are buying them. There's a lot more people engaged now.
Yeah, that's something actually that I was thinking about, because when you were talking about how you have to like look at community, but sometimes if there's already community, it's like already too late. It's already, especially if it's a project that already minted. So for me personally, and I don't have the pedigree that you have at this point, but for me personally, I take like a gamble every once in a while if it's something that I just think looks cool, and then I just kind of hope the people come. And there's one project in particular. I don't know if you ever heard about this one. I don't even remember how I found this one. It might have been from PlayStations. I don't know if you follow him on Twitter. But I saw this project, and now the floor is like pretty healthy. I mean, now the floor I think is at about 0.12 maybe, or it was like 0.15, 0.13. Okay.
That's a very healthy floor.
Yeah, it's a healthy floor. So I heard
They
of
look
this.
good. I've never seen these, by the way. They look
Yeah.
really sharp.
Right. So I'm glad I can introduce you to something new. So what attracted me in the beginning, this artist was actually someone who made 3D cats for gutter cat holders. And then once he had a little bit of success with that, he started making his own thing. But he still didn't have a lot of momentum. And I found this about a month ago, let's say. And at that point, the floor was 0.02. And these cats would just sit there and people weren't buying them. And I really engaged with him a lot. But yeah, the artwork is just on another level. And all of a sudden, I'm in the Discord, and all of a sudden he seemed to have brought on a couple of like Discord managers. And now these things are selling out in half a second. So it's crazy how fast it can go. And that's why sometimes I feel like it's not such a bad idea, at least for me personally, where I find something, if I truly like it, if I think the artwork is super cool, if it's cheap, because I don't want to take big gambles on unknowns. But this guy is just like a very good 3D designer. I don't know if you can see that detail.
Yeah. That's incredible. Incredible.
But this guy's a really solid. So these, if you're interested, these things drop 0.03 to 0.03 to I think to 0.05 and to 0.1 if it's like a rare. Anyway,
so
I'm just showing you something new.
This very cool. I'm totally gonna look at that. And that this is probably the best answer that we could give anybody that has $100 that wants to engage in NFTs, and is there are opportunities that are guaranteed money, and nothing in life is guaranteed, but there are projects just like this one, like Liverboy, like the Dollhouse. I don't know if you've seen
I
that. The
saw the
dolls,
Dollhouse. I was
the
actually super
dolls.
early on that, but they kept releasing them at like 3 a.m. for me. I'm in
Oh,
Europe,
okay,
and so I
yeah.
kept missing the drops.
Yeah. So those types of projects are guaranteed money, and and it's why it's because it's a raffle. If you win the raffle, you can buy it at 0.02 or 0.05, but the floor, Liverboy floor is 0.3. And if you buy it at 0.05, you are guaranteed to flip that into 0.3. Like I'm telling you, I flipped 3, and people are like, there's enough of a community that you can easily sell it for profits. Maybe that's the best place to take a shot, not minting something with $100, because that your chances are that you're going to lose your money.
So how I actually don't, I'm not aware of like this raffle system. So is this something where you have to join the Discord and it's almost like those giveaway generators, and
Yeah.
like if you get selected, you get to buy it?
Yes.
Oh, so
Yeah.
I didn't even know. I didn't know that's how Dollhouse worked. I think when I found it, it wasn't like that. She just said, "I'm dropping 2," and it was always
Yes.
at like 4:30 in the morning. I'm like,
Yeah.
all right, I guess I'm not I'm not buying this project. Oh well.
Yeah. And Liverboy was like that. So when I bought Liverboy, there was literally 3 at 0.03 that he dropped, and I just bought them up, and nobody had bought them, and they were just sitting there on OpenSea. And now, massive gas wars anytime he's going to drop a
Yeah.
Liverboy. And with the dolls, so what the dolls does is, I love this, is there's a raffle for holders, but there's always an extra raffle for non-holders.
Oh, that's awesome.
So you get a better chance. I haven't won a doll yet. I'm dying to win a doll. But that's a good place. Come compete with me for a doll. I don't care. Let's all participate, and hopefully you win.
Yeah, I think that's important. I mean, we didn't talk about that, but I think it's really important to have a variety of holders in any project, because I see too often you'll have like a couple guys that just know how to snipe, and it's like 2 guys on 80% of the supply. Kind of takes us back to a Top Shot comparison. We don't want that kind of thing in projects. All right, so I guess this is a good place to end on, which is if you just have any other parting advice for newbies specifically. So people, I mean, I plan on making some videos about like how to set up a MetaMask. So that's like the level of person you're talking to right now.
Yeah, it's observe and engage before you make any decisions. FOMO is will really slap you over the head in this space. And the best thing that the thing that arms you the best to make good decisions in the NFT space is information. And you can get information you don't have to mint anything, and you don't have to buy anything to get information. You can get information for free by going into Discords. If you're not willing to put that work in, and then don't buy. Especially if you're coming in with very small liquidity. If you're a whale, hell, different. Go mint everything. But if you literally have very little liquidity and you're interested in getting into the space, then observe, learn, pretend that you mint, pretend that you're an owner of something for yourself, and see would this project have worked out for you? Would it not have? Right? And that's the best thing I can tell you, because don't forget, guys, I have to say this to people. We have been in a bull market for easily 3 to 4 months. I don't even know how long, because I didn't join this space when it was created either. But people that came in actually way longer, if you consider anybody that came in October of last year was buying NBA Top Shot. And for those people, many of them are still up, which is crazy to think about. So we've been in a bull market of NFTs for maybe 6 months, and many of these things are up 100x, 50x, 10x, and not everything in life keeps going. So just remember that.
Right. So take your profits, make sure you're not going to get destroyed if all of a sudden the elevator starts coming the other way. Well, I think that's a really good, I think we covered a lot of things there. I think that's a really good introduction for beginner to intermediate. So CryptoPapi, thank you so much for taking the time with me. I really do truly appreciate it. And where can people find you? And I'll write this banner on here too.
Sure. I am at CryptoPapi10 on Twitter and CryptoPapi on YouTube.
Okay, so that's Twitter, right?
Yep.
And then YouTube is just CryptoPapi, one word.
Just CryptoPapi. Look for my ape, my Deathbot flip brim hat.
All right, so that's where to find him on YouTube, and that's where to find him on Twitter. And you'd be a fool not to find him and follow him. So thank you so much for making the time.
Thanks, man. Awesome chat.
All right, take care.
Take care.